Welcome to the Feminine Code channel, where we talk candidly about relationships, love, and marriage, and reigniting your femininity. So, what's the topic today?
Table. I'll go first. You say nothing. You do not engage. You see, when you start presenting all these things and you start putting it on the table like, no, I do this and I can be all of this, you put them in a position to determine what your worth is. Because this person can turn around and literally say, well, I don't think that's worthy. Then what? He wouldn't have approached you if he didn't see value in you. Stop putting yourself in a position for other people to determine your worth.
Okay, so she said that it puts a person in the position to determine your worth and to not say nothing at all. Let's talk about this. So, if you choose to not say anything at all, you're already establishing the fact that your communication and its style is conditional. Because remember, communication is supposed to be the key to a good relationship. And if you're starting out right then and there, not even answering a question, it says a lot. And the fact that you getting triggered by one simple question, what else can a person say that's going to set you off? You're definitely not at a good start, and that is a red flag. And then the other part, determining your worth, even your job is going to ask you pretty much what you're going to bring to the table to determine their worth to them. Why not in a relationship? Is this person worth bringing into my life? Is this person worth working with, in cooperation with? Is this person worth being interdependent with? A woman always want to know what a man's worth is to her. She has standards too, whether or not he can provide financially, whether or not he can protect her, and whether or not he can please her. And those are called standards. You have them, well, guess what? So will he. So you need to prepare to talk about, not say anything.
To the table. Such a weird question people ask each other on social media. It's an okay conversational starter for the internet or for you to think about, but in reality, mature men and women with great social pragmatic skills aren't asking these questions, because it is discovered through rapport building, through experiences, through conversations, through observations, weighing the tangibles and the intangibles, picking up on cues and viewing certain qualities of a person and seeing if that's a great fit for you. But another part of this conversation that is troubling to me is how people often view relationships as robotic and transactional. And I find that there's a level of insecurity that people project in these conversations where they want to exert power, and it's, what can you do for me? Or they're trying to size each other up and compare each other. And I've always said this, and I'll say it again: divine men and women, we don't compete. We complement, we bring to perfection. That's it.
So let's talk about this example. Sizing people up, don't want to compete, transactional relationships. Yeah, let's jump into this one. She said a lot in this particular clip as if you're supposed to just jump in and go forward with somebody and you'll just pick it up along the way. And I think you need to be a little bit more intentional. When you are intentional, which means that you are also self-aware, you automatically know what you're looking for and what you want in a prospective marriage mate. To just wing it is not a smart thing to do. A lot of times people go through wasting time and money and end up with someone that if they asked the right questions, they could have probably went a different direction in the beginning. In regards to transactional, so pretty much everything in life is about choices and trade-offs. And so that's everything as small as a simple purchase to choosing what each other can bring to the relationship. Now, of course, there's going to be an emotional segment of the relationship, but everything and choices that you make is going to be some form of a transaction. It is what it is. So being self-aware and intentional is important. Asking the right questions up front saves a lot of time, energy, and even finances. And also, you're going to have to make a choice, whatever that may be. And when you're interdependent in a relationship, guess what? Some transactions are going to be made. It's not a financial type, but it's definitely about choices and trade-offs, especially when the two of you have to make compromises in the relationship. So let's continue.
Ask, what do you bring to the table? I am the table!
Okay, so you are the table. Guess what the table represents? The table represents the relationship. What you bring to the table, what you're bringing into each other's lives. And when somebody says they are the table, basically they really have no answer of what they actually bring to said table. Being the table is not it. And pretty much what they're saying by them being the table is that they want you to bring something to it, and they absolutely provide nothing themselves. So imagine if a table was full of dirty dishes, crumbs, and critters crawling all over it, and a person sees that. It pretty much represents what those two people have brought to the table. Nothing. Looks like a whole lot of messiness, but imagine two people bringing something to the table that is pretty much a quality of substance, peace, relaxing. The table's clean, neat, and beautiful. Might not be perfect, but what the two people brought to the table was of significant substance. Is going to be an awesome relationship.
You should answer, what do you bring to the table during a job interview? What they're really asking is what makes you unique and special. Use this 3-step formula to get one step closer to landing that job. First, start with a skill you possess that is necessary for success in the position. Second, tell a story about a time you used that skill. Third, conclude your answer by telling them why this skill would make you an asset to the team.
The video clip was actually someone giving career interview tips. However, it applies even in the situation of the question, what do you bring to the table in a relationship? You just can't go on a job interview and apply for a position where you just say, I am the table, or I bring nothing, or I won't answer that question. You have to sell yourself and the skills that you're going to be able to utilize in the position. Now, when it comes to that question in regards to selling yourself, it's not per se getting on begging your knees for them to choose you, which is all these pick-me-shes and pick-me terms and everything else they use. And I don't like those terms anyway. But when you're positioning yourself in someone's life, that other person needs to know, what do you want to do to bring or add to their life, and vice versa. And I don't mean using someone or anything like that, or taking advantage or being oppressed. What I mean by that is, what core values are we bringing into each other's life as we position ourselves in each other's life? What is it that you bring that's unique, that complements us being together? And if those core values are not matching, then let's not waste each other's time and move on.
What do you bring to the table? Yep, we're back here again because we're on different sides with this, because we look at it different. Men and women are different. But let's just go back to creation for a minute. A man was created to be a protector and a provider. A woman was created to be a sensual being, to be the nurturer. So let's talk about that. Men go out and they provide the table. They provide the food for the table. They protect that family and that tribe with everything they have. And when they return from that battle, the woman is there to provide the safe sanctuary, to provide the peace, to nurture him and the family. It's that easy. If we look at that, we can answer a lot of what we should bring to the table.
Her response to this question is absolutely on point. The men are the providers and the protectors of the family. The women are the nurturers and bring peace to the household, or supposedly they should. And when the two is working together like a well-oiled machine, he's doing his part, she's doing her part to make this family unit move in the right direction. It's a beautiful thing.
Only the insecure men that are asking women what they bring to the table. Like,
nope, because it doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman. Everybody is perfectly entitled to ask that same question. If I was to get into a relationship with this person, what do they bring to the table? I believe they call it having standards. If you say to someone, well, if you don't see my value, I'll walk away. Fine, walk away, but that's on you for not meeting the standards of the other person. It's their choice, not yours. But to call people insecure for having standards?
I think that's absolutely ridiculous, because when somebody asks, what do you bring to the table, it makes them insecure. No, they want to know what you bring into their lives. And like the gentleman said, it's about having standards. And if you feel that, they don't see my value and you want to walk away, you absolutely have a right to walk away, but they also have a right to their standard.
Everything. If you're not hiring me for a job, why am I answering to you what I bring to the table?
Just answer the damn question. What do you bring to the table? Give me a reason why I should invest my time, energy, and money into you. Now, guys and girls are not really asking the direct question of what do you bring to the table. These should just come in the form of just regular ass questions. They're trying to fill you out, see what you bring. Answer the damn question. Because that just gives off vibes that you have nothing to bring but some booty. Because I'm not trying to stockpile on some of this. Are you going to fuck with my games if I'm on it? Are you going to be starting random ass arguments? Do you work? Do you clean? Do you cook? Because I ain't got time to be cleaning up after you. I ain't got time to be cooking for you all the time. We're going to be switching off. You expect me to have a job, I expect you to have a job. Women be having all these prerequisites for guys, but God forbid if guys have prerequisites for women. We're the bad guy then, right? Get real.
Hey, we just had a previous clip about a woman saying, what do you bring to the table in a career? Well, guess what? If you're positioning yourself in someone else's life, they have the right to ask for their standards. Because as this young man said, are you bringing peace or are you bringing a headache? Are you able to contribute as much as I'm going to contribute? What makes you unique that's also going to be an act that's going to be an asset to each other's lives? So I totally understand where he's coming from. And yeah, it's a question that you have to ask, especially if you're going to be intentional. We have one more clip.
Asks you, what do you bring to the table?
Okay, I'm hearing what you're saying. You're asking what do we hear when a man asks, what do you have to bring to the table? Or what is he saying? Well, I get what you're saying. He's asking, like, what do you have to offer? But it's a trigger for women when you ask like that. You might want to reword it and say, what do you contribute to the relationship? Because when we hear that, we automatically thinking, okay, I got my own, and it goes to what we heard and not what he said. So you're asking, what do we have to contribute to the relationship? But when you say table, we're like, how many bitches you got at this table? And it goes to what we heard and not what you said. So you might want to just reword it to, what do you contribute to the relationship? And if there's even a relationship to contribute to.
Well, pretty much she wants you to soften up the question. Reframe it because it triggers you. So in order to make them comfortable, you need to change how you ask the question. Let's talk about this. Here's the thing, even if men change the question from what do you bring to the table to what do you bring to the relationship, guess what? They're still going to have a problem with their question because they don't have an answer for it. No matter how you frame it, that question is just like it's going to always be a triggering thing when you don't know the answer. They're just going to continue to move the goalpost. And how about all of the triggering questions that women ask men? How much money do you make? Are you broke? What kind of car you drive? What can you do in the bedroom? But the thing is, men know how to answer that question, so they don't have a problem with that question. They've been protecting and providing and know how to do that because it's part of their nature. Women, on the other hand, is a different story, because we have been told that we really just have to bring ourselves and nothing else, and that's supposed to be enough, and the men that can't say anything about it. Well, wrong answer, and the men are waking up. So in conclusion, if you continue to have this back and forth, it's still going to be the same outcome, you being by yourself. You have to know what you bring into someone's life as much as you want to know what they bring into your life. Women are nurturers, men are providers and protectors. If someone is positioning themselves in your life, sometimes I guess it got to sound like a job interview. And to soften up the question, I'm sorry, it ain't it. If your outcome is to establish a fulfilling relationship, you're going to have to answer this question on both sides to figure out how the two of you are going to work together. It is what it is. Shout out to the video creators in these clips, and also to the Daily Wrap-Up crew for their special clip. We hope you enjoyed the topic today on the Feminine Code channel. We'll look forward to seeing you in our next video on the next topic.